The alarm screens turned red across every wall of the research station. Dr. Lina dropped the sample container she was holding. Her forearms trembled as the sound grew louder. Around her, other Quellan scientists froze at their workstations. Their soft blue skin paled to almost white. Rina burst through the laboratory door. The communications officer's breath came in short gasps. Raiders, 12 ships, they came out of nowhere. Lina's heart sank. Her people had no word for war in their language. They borrowed the term from other species who understood such things. For 4,000 years, the Quellan civilization had never raised a weapon against anyone. They studied stars and planets. They wrote poetry about nebulas. They did not fight. "Where is Director Pola?" Lina asked. "Command Center. She wants everyone to move to the core sections." Rina's voice shook. "The Raiders sent a message. They want our research data and supplies. We have 1 hour." Lina looked around the lab. 20 years of work filled these rooms. Discoveries about planetary formation that could help dozens of worlds. Now pirates wanted to steal it or destroy it. She wanted to cry. Instead, she followed Rina into the corridor. The station called Harmony 7 orbited a massive gas giant in the outer Veil sector. 847 beings lived here, 17 different species. Most were researchers like Lina. Some brought their families. There were children playing in the gardens just this morning. Lina had watched them chase each other around the artificial trees, laughing in 3 different languages. Now those same children huddled in the core sections with their parents. Fear filled the air like smoke. Pola stood at the main display in the command center. The elderly Quellan's face showed the weight of impossible choices. "Our shields will last maybe 10 minutes against their weapons," she said quietly. "We have no weapons of our own. If we resist, they will kill everyone." "So we surrender?" someone asked. "We survive," Pola answered. "We give them what they want, we protect the children, we stay alive." She looked at each person in the room. "Send the surrender signal." Rina moved to her station. Her fingers hesitated over the controls. "I already sent distress calls on every frequency we have," she whispered. "But the nearest patrol is 6 days away." "Then we have no choice." Pola's voice was steady, but her hands shook. Lina watched the display screens. The raider ships moved closer. They were ugly things covered in weapons and armor. Ships built only for taking and herding. Everything the Quellan were not. One of the raiders was 10 times larger than the others, the lead ship. On the screen, a face appeared. Vorn. The Harkin Syndicate captain had scales and too many teeth. His eyes showed nothing but greed. "Smart choice, little prey," Vorn said with a laugh. "Prepare for boarding. Anyone who causes trouble dies. Anyone who runs dies. Stay still and maybe you live." The transmission cut off. Lina felt sick. This was really happening. Pirates would storm through their peaceful station. They would take everything, maybe hurt people anyway. The Quellan had no experience with cruelty. They did not know how to process it. Rina suddenly sat up straight at her communications console. "Wait, something is happening." "What?" Pola moved closer. Long-range sensors, multiple slip-space ruptures forming. Rina's fingers danced across the controls. Ships, coming in fast, very fast. Lina's hope flickered. "The patrol, they cannot be here already." "These are not patrol signatures." Rina pulled up the data. Her eyes went wide. "I do not recognize these ship types at all. The computer has no match in the database." On the main display, space itself seemed to tear open. Points of light grew into spinning vortexes. 7 ships emerged. They were smaller than the raider cruisers but moved with purpose. Clean lines, efficient design, weapons that looked both simple and deadly. Vorn's face appeared on screen again. He no longer looked amused. "Unknown vessels, this is claimed salvage. Leave now or be destroyed." The response came immediately. A human voice. Lina had never heard a human before. The voice was female, calm, almost gentle. but underneath that gentleness was something hard, something that did not bend. Raider Fleet, this is Commander Nina Cross of the United Nations ship Resolute. You are threatening civilians in distress. You have 10 minutes to withdraw from this sector. This is your only warning. Vorn laughed, actually laughed. Humans, you are the newcomers everyone whispers about. The Deathworlders who just learned to leave their planet. You have 7 small ships. I have 12 warships. Do the math and run home. Silence followed, 5 seconds, 10. Then the human fleet moved. Lina had never seen ships move like that. They accelerated so fast the sensors could barely track them. They split into groups with perfect coordination. The first human ship fired before Vorn stopped laughing. The Raider shields lit up, then failed. The shot had hit the exact same point 3 times in 2 seconds. Impossible accuracy. The Raider ship spun sideways, engines dying. Then all 7 human ships opened fire. It was not a battle. It was a lesson. The humans moved between the Raider vessels like predators in water. They fired and turned and fired again with precision that made Lina's scientist brain scream questions. How could they move so fast? The G-forces would kill most species. How could they aim so perfectly while spinning and diving? 3 minutes into the fight, 4 Raider ships were drifting hulks. 2 more had engines damaged. Vorn screamed orders that his fleet ignored. They were running, trying to run. The humans let them go but destroyed their weapons first. 6 minutes after it started, the Raider fleet was gone, fled into slip space with their pride and half their ships left behind. The human commander's voice came through again. Harmony 7, this is Commander Cross. Are there casualties? Do you need medical assistance? Pola stared at the screen. Her mouth opened but no sound came out. Lina stepped forward. This is Dr. Lina, we have no casualties. You saved us, all of us. Her voice broke. Thank you. You are welcome, Doctor. We are requesting permission to dock and render assistance. Your station took some damage from stray fire. We can help repair it. Pola found her voice. You want to come aboard? Only if you permit it. We will not approach without your consent. The command center fell silent. Everyone looked at Pola. The director took a deep breath. Deathworlders wanted to dock. Warriors from a Class 12 hazard world. Predators who just destroyed a Raider fleet in 6 minutes. Warriors who asked permission, who offered help, who called them by name and asked about casualties before anything else. Permission granted, Commander Cross, Pola said. Welcome to Harmony 7. The docking bay had never felt so large and empty. Pola stood with 20 station personnel, watching the airlock cycle through its sequence. Behind them, another 100 beings pressed against the observation windows. Everyone wanted to see the humans. Everyone feared them. Lina stood beside the director. She had pulled up every file about Earth on her personal tablet. Class 12 hazard world, extreme gravity, toxic atmosphere composition for most species, predators everywhere, disease, natural disasters. The planet itself tried to kill anything living on it. And somehow humans thrived there, built cities, went to space. Now they were here. The airlock opened. Armored figures stepped through. Powered combat suits painted dark gray. Helmets that showed nothing. Weapons maglocked to their thighs. They moved in formation, each one covering different angles. Professional, dangerous, silent. Then the helmets retracted. Lina had expected monsters. Creatures hardened by their death world into something cruel. Instead, she saw faces. Young and old. Different skin colors, hair in various styles. They looked almost normal, except for the eyes. Every single human had predator eyes, front-facing, designed to track prey. One human stepped forward, female, short compared to most species, maybe half Lina's height, but built solid with muscle definition visible even through the undersuit. Her hair was pulled back tight. Her face was professional and calm. Director Pola, I am Commander Nina Cross. Thank you for allowing us aboard. The human's voice matched the one from the transmission, controlled warmth. Pola extended her primary hands in the traditional Quellan greeting. Nina copied the gesture without hesitation. How did she know their customs? "You saved our lives, Commander," Pola said. "The least we can do is offer hospitality." Another human moved forward, older male. He wore different armor with medical symbols. "I am Dr. Henry Walsh. Are there any injured we should examine? We can treat most species, but we need to know your biology." "We have no injuries from the attack," Pola replied. "Just fear." Henry nodded. His face showed understanding. Kindness even. "Fear is reasonable. We know how we look, what our reputation says, but we are here to help, not harm." A small sound made everyone turn. A Quellan child had slipped away from the observation area, no more than 5 cycles old. She walked right up to one of the human Marines. The soldier was massive in his armor, probably 3 times the child's height. Lina's heart stopped. Every Quellan in the bay held their breath. The Marine looked down. Slowly, very slowly, he knelt. Servos in his armor hissed as he lowered himself to the child's level. Then he removed his helmet. Young face, dark skin, gentle eyes. "Hey there," the Marine said softly. "Are you lost?" The child stared at him, then reached out one small hand and touched the Marine's cheek, testing if he was real. The human stayed perfectly still. Let the child explore his face with tiny fingers. "Your eyes are funny," the child said. The Marine smiled. It transformed his whole face. "Yeah, your skin is really pretty, like the sky back home." "I am Prina. I lost my parents." "Well, Prina, I am David. Let us find your parents together, okay?" David stood carefully, then offered his hand. The child took it without fear. They walked past Lina, the armored human, and the small child. David spoke quietly to her, asking about her parents' names, describing the observation area layout from his suit's scanner. Professional and gentle at the same time. Henry watched them go. David has a daughter about that age, back on Earth. He understands scared kids. The doctor looked at Pola. "Commander, where do you need us most?" For the next 6 hours, Lina watched humans work alongside her people. Engineers examined the hull damage with careful efficiency. Medics set up a temporary clinic and invited anyone feeling stressed to talk. Marines helped move supplies to safer storage, their armor making easy work of containers that required 3 Quellan to lift. Lina volunteered to assist Henry in the medical bay. She wanted to understand these Deathworlders, study them up close. Henry worked on a tissue scanner, adapting it for Quellan biology. His hands were steady and precise. Surgeon's hands. "You are wondering about us," he said without looking up. "Is it obvious?" "You have been staring at my hands for 10 minutes, Henry smiled. "Ask anything you want, I do not mind." "Why did you come? Your species barely knows the galaxy exists. This station means nothing to Earth. Yet you risked 7 ships and all those lives." Henry set down his tools. He met Lina's eyes with that predator gaze, but it was not threatening, it was honest. "Someone needed help, that is enough. But you do not know us. We could have been criminals, pirates ourselves." The distress signal said research station. "Civilians, children." Henry's voice was firm. "That is all we needed to know." Lina's translator struggled with the emotion in his words. "Your world, Earth. The files say it is terrible, dangerous beyond measure. How did you become this way? Most species from death worlds are violent, territorial, they conquer or isolate." Henry nodded slowly. He pulled up a hologram from his tablet. "Earth, blue and white and green, beautiful and deadly. Our planet tried to kill us every day. Storms, earthquakes, predators, disease. For hundreds of thousands of years, we nearly went extinct over and over. So you learned to fight. We learned to protect each other." Henry zoomed in on the planet. Cities, farms, roads connecting everything. One human alone dies on Earth, But humans together, we survive, we build, we thrive. We learned that the strong protect the weak, that everyone contributes, that we are better together than apart. He switched the image to a burning building, humans running into the flames, carrying others out. We run into fire to save strangers. We jump into floods. We donate organs to people we never met. It is not about deserving help. It is about being able to give it. Lena felt her throat tighten. Your world made you into weapons, but you chose to be shields. Yes, Henry's smile was sad. Earth made us dangerous. We chose to be kind. Those two things do not cancel out. We can be both. An alarm interrupted them. Rinna's voice came over the station-wide system. Urgent, frightened. Commander Cross, Director Pola, everyone. Long-range sensors detect the raider fleet returning. They have reinforcements, 23 ships total. They will be here in 40 minutes. Lena's blood went cold. 23 warships. The humans only had 7. Henry was already moving. Get to the core sections with the others. We will handle this. You cannot fight that many ships. The doctor paused at the door. When he looked back, Lena finally saw the predator clearly, the human who survived a death world. Dr. Lena, we came from Earth. We do not abandon people who need us, ever, not for any reason. Then he was gone, moving with purpose toward the docking bay. Lena stood alone in the medical bay. Outside, she could see the human ships repositioning around the station. 7 ships against 23. Impossible odds. Any rational species would run, save themselves, cut their losses. But humans were not rational. They were something else entirely. They were exactly what Earth made them. And they were about to prove why Deathworlders terrified the galaxy. Lena refused to hide. She stood in the command center beside Pola and Rinna, watching the displays. Around them, other station personnel worked frantically. They were scientists and artists and teachers, not soldiers, but they could help somehow. On the main screen, Nina's face appeared. The human commander looked calm, too calm for someone facing impossible odds. Director Pola, we are establishing a defensive perimeter. I need you to move everyone to the core sections and seal the emergency bulkheads. Commander, there are too many of them. Pola's voice shook. Please take your ships and go. We can surrender. It is not worth dying for strangers. Nina's expression softened. Director, we are not strangers anymore. We shared a meal with your people. David helped little Prina find her parents. Henry taught your medics how to use our scanners. You are not strangers. You are friends. But you will die. Maybe, but we will die standing between you and them. That is what humans do. Nina glanced at something off-screen. 35 minutes until they arrive. We need to prepare. Trust us, Director. The transmission ended. Pola slumped into her chair. Around the command center, Quellen's staff looked at each other with expressions of grief. They were about to watch their saviors get slaughtered, and they could do nothing to stop it. Lena made a decision. She grabbed a tool kit from the storage locker. I am going to the docking bay. Lena, no. The commander said to evacuate. She said to evacuate civilians. I am volunteering to help. Lena was already moving toward the door. I am not hiding while they die for us. She found the docking bay transformed into a combat operations center. Human Marines worked with mechanical efficiency. Some checked weapons. Others loaded ammunition. A few sat quietly, eyes closed, doing breathing exercises. David saw her first. He had removed his armor's upper plates, working on a power coupling. Dr. Lena, you should be in the core sections. So should you. Instead, you are preparing to fight a fleet 3 times your size. She held up her tool kit. I am good with power systems. Let me help. David studied her for a moment. Then he nodded. Over here. This coupling keeps fluctuating. If you can stabilize it, my suit's shield will last longer. Lena knelt beside him. Her 4 arms made the work easier. She opened the access panel and immediately saw the problem. This connector is fractured. You need a replacement. We do not have spares. Make it work anyway. She pulled out a bonding torch. I can fuse it temporarily. It will hold for maybe an hour under combat stress. An hour is good, thank you. They worked in silence for several minutes. Lena focused on the repair, but part of her mind screamed questions. You know you might die, right? All of you, against those odds. David's hands never stopped moving. He was cleaning his rifle with practiced motions. Yes. And you are not afraid. Afraid, yes, terrified actually. He pulled back the charging handle, checked the chamber, released it with a metallic snap. Fear is natural. Earth taught us that. Fear keeps you alive. Then why stay? David finally looked at her. His eyes were dark brown and very serious. I have a daughter. Her name is Sophie. She is 6 years old. Before I left for this deployment, she asked me what I do in the Navy. I told her I protect people who cannot protect themselves. He gestured around the bay. If I run now, if I let those raiders hurt the families on this station, what do I tell Sophie when I get home? That I only protect people when it is safe. That I only help when it is easy. He shook his head. No, I protect people. That is what I do. That is who I am. Lena's hands trembled. She completed the repair and closed the access panel. Your daughter is lucky to have you. I hope she thinks so. David stood and began reassembling his armor. And I hope I get to see her again. But if I do not, at least I know why. I died doing what was right. More footsteps echoed through the bay. Henry arrived with another human, female, dark hair, lieutenant's insignia. She carried a data tablet and had the same predator eyes as the others. David, power suits are sealed. Lena, good to see you helping. Henry smiled. This is Lieutenant Anna Torres. She coordinates our defense operations. Anna nodded at Lena, then addressed the assembled Marines. Listen up. The Raider fleet has 23 ships. We have 7. They have heavier armor, more weapons. They think numbers mean victory. She smiled. It was not a nice smile. It was the smile of Earth's apex predator. They have never fought humans before. They do not know what we can do. The Marines responded with fierce grins. No fear, just determination. Commander Cross is coordinating fleet movements. We have one objective, protect Harmony 7. No raiders board this station. No one dies today except the pirates who refuse to leave. Anna's voice was steel. We are United Nations Marines. We hold the line. We protect the innocent. We do not break. Clear. Clear, Lieutenant. The response was unified, powerful. Anna turned to Lena. Doctor, you need to evacuate now. When the fighting starts, this bay will not be safe. Let me stay, please. I can help with repairs, injuries, something. Henry and Anna exchanged looks. Some silent communication passed between them. Finally, Anna nodded. Stay behind the barricades. If I tell you to run, you run. Understood. Understood. The waiting was horrible. Lena checked chronometers every 30 seconds, 20 minutes, 15, 10. The Marines were quiet now. Some checked equipment one more time. Others wrote messages on their personal tablets. Letters home, probably, just in case. David sat near Lena. He was writing too. She glimpsed the words. Dear Sophie, if you are reading this, Daddy could not come home, but I want you to know I was happy. I helped people who needed it. That is what heroes do. You can be a hero too. Just help people when they need it. Love always, Dad. Lena had to look away. Tears ran down her face. These humans, these impossible, beautiful, terrifying humans, they were writing goodbye letters to their children while preparing to fight a battle they would probably lose. 5 minutes. Nina's voice came through on all channels. All ships, all personnel. The Raider fleet is dropping out of slip space. Weapons hot, shields up. Remember your training, remember why we are here. For Harmony 7, for Earth, for everyone who cannot fight for themselves. On the displays, space rippled. 23 Raider warships emerged in attack formation. They looked like angry metal insects. all weapons and rage. The human fleet looked tiny in comparison, 7 ships against an armada. But those 7 ships moved first. They accelerated toward the enemy with speed that made physics scream. The battle for Harmony 7 had begun. And Lena understood something fundamental about humans, about Earth's children. They were not fearless. They were brave. And brave was so much more dangerous than fearless could ever be. Space exploded into violence. Lena watched from the command center displays, her 4 hands gripping the console. The human ships moved like nothing she had ever seen. They split into 3 groups, using the gas giant's gravity to slingshot around at impossible angles. The raiders opened fire first. Energy beams and missile trails lit up the darkness, enough firepower to level a city. The humans did not dodge. They predicted. Every ship moved exactly 1 second before the weapon's fire arrived at their location. "How are they doing that?" Rina whispered beside her. "Combat algorithms," Pola said. She had pulled up tactical data. "No, wait. The reaction time is too fast. No computer can process that quickly." On screen, the human flagship dove under 3 raider cruisers, weapons blazing. Each shot hit a different shield generator. The shields failed simultaneously. Secondary explosions rippled across the raider hulls. "That is human pilots," Lena breathed. "They are calculating angles and timing manually, while pulling 8 gravity's acceleration. Impossible. That G-force would kill anyone." "Not Deathworlders." Lena's voice was quiet with awe. "Not beings who evolved on a world with crushing gravity and constant danger. They are built for this." The battle became a dance of physics and violence. Human ships executed maneuvers that violated every safe navigation protocol. They used the station's orbital mechanics, the gas giant's radiation belts, even the debris from destroyed raider ships as cover. Vorn's voice screamed across open channels. "They are only 7 ships. Concentrate fire, kill them." The raiders tried. They fired everything. Space became a wall of weapons fire. No ship could survive flying through that. The human ship split up, went in 3 different directions, reformed behind the raider formation, fired again. 2 more raiders lost engines. In the docking bay, Anna coordinated defensive positions. Marines set up barricades at every entrance. Lena helped where she could, carrying ammunition containers that were heavy even for her 4 arms. "Lieutenant, the fleet is doing amazing," one Marine said. He was young, scared but hiding it well. "They are buying us time." Anna's face was grim. "But math is math. We cannot win a straight fight. Eventually something will break through." As if summoning it, alarms shrieked. A raider boarding ship had detached from the main fleet. It was heading straight for Harmony 7. David activated his helmet. "All units, we have incoming. Boarding protocol. Remember training." The raider ship latched onto the station's secondary airlock. Cutting torches blazed. Lena's heart raced. This was happening. Combat. Violence. Things her peaceful people had no experience with. Dr. Lena behind the barricade. "Now." David's voice was firm but not unkind. She scrambled back, crouched behind reinforced panels. Through gaps she could see the airlock. The metal glowed red, then white, then it failed. Harkin raiders poured through. They were bigger than humans, armored, armed with weapons designed for ship corridors. They saw the Marines and laughed, actual laughing. "Deathworlders, your ships might be fast, but in close combat size matters. You are too small." David's response was to shoot the speaker in the knee. The raider went down screaming. The others stopped laughing. What followed was not a battle, it was a lesson in efficiency. The Marines moved like water around the raiders' clumsy attacks. They were smaller, yes, but faster, more coordinated. Every movement was precise. No wasted motion, no panic. A raider swung a blade at Anna. She ducked under it, drove her knee into his midsection. used his own momentum to flip him into two of his companions. All three went down in a tangle. Marines stunned them before they could rise. Non-lethal when possible, Anna shouted. They are just criminals, not soldiers. David fought beside her. His movements were practiced, professional, not cruel but absolutely effective. He disabled a raider twice his size with 3 quick strikes. Elbow to nerve cluster, sweep the legs, stun weapon to the spine. Down. Lena watched in amazement. These humans were not raging berserkers. They were controlled, disciplined. They used exactly the force needed, no more, no less. The raider boarding party lasted 4 minutes. Then they were all unconscious or surrendered. Not a single Marine was seriously hurt. Anna immediately began securing the prisoners with restraints. Get them to the holding area, medical check on anyone who took hard hits. Anna's voice was calm again. Combat mode switched off like a light. David, seal that airlock. Lena, you okay? I am unharmed. Lena stepped out from cover on shaking legs. You did not kill any of them. Did not need to. David was already welding the airlock shut. Dead enemies cannot learn lessons, cannot change. These raiders made bad choices. Maybe prison will help them make better ones. Henry arrived with medical supplies. He immediately checked the unconscious raiders for injuries, treating them with the same care he showed station personnel earlier. You are helping them, Lena asked. They tried to hurt us. Henry looked up. They are injured beings who need medical attention. That they are criminals does not change my oath to help the injured. Lena's translator had no words for what she was feeling. These humans, they fought like demons, moved like predators, but showed mercy like saints. How could one species contain so many contradictions? On the displays, the space battle continued. The human fleet had destroyed or disabled 8 raider ships, but they were taking damage too. One destroyer had lost shields, another had hull breaches. Then everything changed. A raider cruiser broke from the main fight. It accelerated toward Harmony 7 at ramming speed. The pilot had gone mad with rage. If he could not win, he would destroy the station. Nina's voice cut through all channels. All ships, intercept course. We cannot let that cruiser reach the station. But they were too far. The angles were wrong. Even with impossible human piloting, physics had limits. A single human fighter broke formation. Small craft. One pilot. Lena recognized the call sign. Roy, she had met him earlier. He showed her pictures of his daughter, 8 years old. Loved science like her father. Roy's fighter went to maximum acceleration, straight toward the cruiser, his weapons firing continuously, not enough to stop it, just enough to get its attention. Roy negative, pull back. Nina's voice was desperate. That is an order. Sorry, Commander, got to do this. Roy's voice was steady, calm. Tell my daughter I kept my promise. Tell her I protected people. Lena understood what he was planning. No, no, please, no. Roy's fighter hit the cruiser's bridge at full velocity. The explosion was massive. The cruiser's navigation failed. It spun sideways away from the station, away from the civilians, momentum carrying it harmlessly past. The fighter was gone. Roy was gone. The command center fell silent. On every human ship, on every human face, grief and rage warred for dominance. Then Nina's voice came through, cold as deep space, hard as Earth's diamond core. All ships, new priority, end this, now. The human fleet moved as one. They had been holding back, trying for minimal casualties. No more. They unleashed everything, every weapon, every tactic, all the terrible skill that Earth's crucible had forged into them. 3 minutes later, 10 more raider ships were drifting wrecks. The survivors fled. Vorn's flagship led the retreat, running for slip space. The humans did not pursue. They were already moving to rescue escape pods, already searching for survivors, even enemy survivors. Because that was what humans did. They protected, they saved, even when it hurt, even when it cost them everything. Lena watched rescue operations begin. She thought about Roy, about Sophie, who would grow up without a father, about David writing letters to his daughter just in case. Earth made monsters, but those monsters chose to be heroes. And the galaxy would never be the same. Silence filled the docking bay, the kind of silence that pressed down on everything. David stood with his helmet off, staring at nothing. Other Marines sat on equipment crates, faces blank with shock. They had won. It did not feel like winning. Lena approached carefully. David. He blinked, focused on her. Doctor, are you hurt? No, are you? Physically, no. He looked away. Roy was my friend. We joined the service together 15 years ago. He was supposed to retire next year, spend time with his kid. I am sorry. David nodded slowly. Me too. He stood, straightening his armor. But he saved everyone on the station. That mattered to him. He died protecting others. That is how Roy wanted to be remembered. Anna gathered the Marines. Her voice was rough with emotion. Listen up. We lost Roy. We lost 3 others in the fleet engagement. 4 good people, 4 heroes. She paused, breathed, continued. We mourn them, we honor them, but first we finish the job. There are still raiders in the debris field, some alive. We rescue them, clear. Clear, Lieutenant. The Marines moved out, purpose replacing grief, work to do, people to save, even if those people were enemies moments ago. Henry found Lena in the corridor. His face showed the same strain. Come with me, the command center. Nina wants to talk to Director Pola. They found Pola standing at the displays. The station director looked older, tired. Rina sat at communications, coordinating damage reports. The station had taken some hits, nothing critical, but repairs would take weeks. Nina's image appeared on the main screen. The human commander's uniform was scorched on one shoulder. Blood ran from a cut above her eye, but she stood straight, professional. Director Pola, status. We have minor hull damage. No casualties. Thanks to you, Pola's voice shook. Commander, we heard about your losses. 4 people. I am so sorry. This is my fault. If we had better defenses, if we had not sent that signal. Stop. Nina's voice was firm. You did exactly right. You called for help when you needed it. That is never wrong. My people knew the risks. They accepted them. They died protecting innocents. That is the greatest honor in human military service. But they are dead because of us. Nina leaned forward. Her eyes were red but clear. Director, would you prefer they died for nothing? That Roy sacrificed himself protecting an empty station. No. They died saving 847 lives, including children. That matters. That means something. Pola wiped her eyes, all 4 of them. What do we do now? Now we clean up, secure the prisoners, recover the dead from both sides, repair what we can. Nina glanced at something off-screen. And we wait for the Galactic Council. They are sending representatives, should arrive in 3 hours. The Council, Rina looked alarmed. Why? Because we just fought a major engagement in neutral space. Because humans are new to galactic society. Because everyone wants to know what happened here. Nina smiled. It was tired but genuine. Do not worry. We did nothing wrong, just tell the truth. The transmission ended. Lena found herself standing in the observation deck. Below, human ships moved through the debris field. They pulled survivors from wrecked raider ships, brought them aboard for medical treatment. The same hands that destroyed those ships now saved the crews. David joined her at the window. His armor was powered down. He looked human-sized again, still dangerous but approachable. Beautiful view, even with the wreckage. You are rescuing them, the raiders. They surrendered. They are prisoners now, not enemies. He pointed to one rescue operation. See that? Marine carrying an injured Harkin to the medical bay. That Harkin probably shot at us an hour ago. Doesn't matter. He needs help. We give it. I do not understand humans. David smiled. Most species don't. We barely understand ourselves. Earth made us contradictions. We can be violent when necessary, gentle when possible, cruel to threats, kind to the helpless. It confuses people. It terrifies people. Yeah, probably. He turned to face her directly. But which is more terrifying, Doctor? A species that destroys everything, or a species that can destroy everything but chooses not to? Lena had no answer. She watched the rescue operations continue, thought about everything she had seen. The battle, the mercy, the sacrifice, the contradictions. Hours passed. The Galactic Council ship arrived, sleek and official. Ambassador Quellen came aboard. He was Quellen like Lena and Pola, but from the homeworld, from power and politics. He moved through the station with an escort recording everything. The formal meeting happened in the station's main conference room. Pola and her senior staff, Nina and her officers, Henry, Anna, David, and Quellen with his recorder drones capturing every moment. Commander Cross, Quellen's voice was smooth, diplomatic. The Council has reviewed the battle recordings. You destroyed or disabled 15 raider vessels, killed approximately 200 Harkin pirates. This is concerning. Is it? Nina's face was neutral. Your species has been in space for only 40 years. You have limited diplomatic contact, yet you wield military force with disturbing efficiency. Quellen gestured at the data. The galaxy fears what humanity might become, a violent expansionist power, another threat. Nina stood. She was shorter than everyone in the room except the other humans, but her presence filled the space. Ambassador, let me be clear about something. We are dangerous. Our world made us that way. We evolved as pursuit predators on a Class 12 hazard planet. We can be terrifying when we need to be. Exactly our concern. But, Nina's voice hardened. We came here because someone needed help. We fought because civilians were threatened. We mourned our dead and rescued our enemies. We have power, yes, but we use it to protect, not conquer. Pola stood as well. Ambassador Quellen, I speak for everyone on this station. The humans saved us. They asked nothing in return. They died for strangers. If that is what the galaxy fears, then the galaxy is very confused about what true danger looks like. Lena found herself standing too. I have studied them, worked beside them, watched them fight. They are exactly what they claim, protectors, not conquerors. Quellen looked around the room, saw the united front, saw the evidence, saw the truth of what happened here. The Council will need time to review everything. Take all the time you need. Nina sat down again, calm, confident. We are not going anywhere. We will keep answering distress calls, keep protecting those who need it. The galaxy can fear us if it wants. We will still be here when people need help. The ambassador left, his recorder drones following. Lena knew those recordings would spread across every civilized world. The battle, the rescue, everything. David found her again later, nervous about what happens next. Terrified, the galaxy will see humans as either monsters or saviors, maybe both. Probably both, he smiled. But that is okay. Let them see the whole truth. We are dangerous, we are kind, we are both. Earth made us complicated. Lena looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, people would watch the recordings. They would see human ships dancing through impossible combat, see Marines showing mercy to enemies, see Roy sacrificing everything for strangers. They would see Earth's children, and they would have to decide what that meant. For Lena, the choice was already made. She had seen humanity's soul, the contradictions and complications, the violence and compassion, the death world that taught its children to protect each other. And she was not afraid anymore. She was hopeful. Because the galaxy had guardians now, and they came from the most unlikely place imaginable. They came from Earth. 3 days after the battle, Harmony 7 held a memorial service. The main observation deck was transformed. Flowers from 17 different worlds, candles that burned in colors Lena had never seen, and in the center, 4 holographic displays. Roy, Amanda, Lewis, Kenji, the 4 humans who died protecting strangers. Nina stood before the assembled crowd. Station personnel, human crew, even some rescued raiders who asked permission to attend, everyone who wanted to honor the fallen. These 4 people came from Earth, Nina began. Her voice was steady but soft. They grew up on a world that tried to kill them every day. They could have become bitter, violent, closed off. Instead, they became protectors. They joined the service to help others, to stand between the innocent and those who would harm them. She gestured to Roy's image. Roy loved his daughter more than anything. He showed everyone pictures, talked about her constantly, annoyed us all with dad jokes. Quiet laughter rippled through the crowd. But when it mattered, when a ship threatened this station, he did not hesitate. He gave everything to save people he barely knew. That was Roy. That is what Earth taught him, protect others, always. Nina spoke about each person, their lives, their dreams, their families back home. She made them real, not just statistics, not just casualties, people, with loved ones and hopes and futures that were cut short. When she finished, Paula spoke. Then Henry, then David, each sharing memories, each honoring the sacrifice. Finally, little Prina walked to the center. The Quellan child who had touched David's face 3 days ago. She held a drawing, 4 stick figures with capes, heroes. "Thank you for saving us," she said in her small voice. "I will remember you forever." The crowd wept, every species, every person, united in grief and gratitude. After the ceremony, Lina found Nina standing alone at the window, looking out at the stars. "Commander." "Dr. Lina," Nina did not turn around. "Beautiful view." "Yes," Lina stood beside her. "The council sent their decision. Did you hear?" "I heard. Provisional acceptance of humanity into galactic society, probationary status, lots of restrictions and monitoring." Nina's tone was dry. "They are still afraid of us." "Can you blame them? They watched the battle recordings. They saw what humans can do." "No, I don't blame them." Nina finally looked at Lina. Her eyes were tired. "Fear is logical. We are dangerous. We come from a world that made us into weapons, but I hope eventually they see the other side, that we are also shields, that we choose to protect." "Some already do. Pola has been contacted by 3 different species. They want to establish defense agreements with Earth. They want human protection." Nina smiled. "That was fast. We have only been in space for 40 years, and already we are getting job offers as bodyguards." "You joke, but it is true. The galaxy needs protectors. For too long, raiders and slavers operated with impunity. No one strong enough to stop them, too peaceful or too distant or too concerned with politics." Lina's voice grew passionate. "Then humans appear, and suddenly the predators have something to fear. You are changing everything. We are just doing what feels right. That is what makes it powerful." Lina pulled out her tablet. "I have been researching human history, your wars, your struggles. Do you know what I found?" "Lots of violence, probably." "Yes, but also this." She showed Nina the tablet. Images scrolled past. Firefighters running into burning buildings, medics treating enemies on battlefields, strangers forming human chains to save drowning children, volunteers rebuilding after disasters. You have always been this way. Even when you fought each other, you saved each other. Even in your darkest moments, humans chose compassion alongside violence. Nina studied the images, her expression softened. "Earth taught us both, how to fight, how to care. We cannot separate them. They are both part of who we are." "I know, I understand now." Lina closed the tablet. "Before you came, I thought Deathworlders would be monsters, all rage and hunger and violence. But you are not monsters. You are guardians, forged by suffering into something that protects others from suffering." They stood in comfortable silence, watching the stars, watching human ships patrol the area, watching the galaxy shift and change around them. David found them eventually. "Commander, we have incoming transmission. Earth Command, they want to talk to you." Looks important." Nina nodded. "On my way," she paused, looked at Lina. "Doctor, it has been an honor working with you. Keep studying us. Figure us out. Maybe you can explain humans to the galaxy better than we can explain ourselves." "I will try, though I think humans are meant to be experienced, not explained." Nina laughed, actually laughed. "You might be right." The transmission from Earth Command brought news. Nina was promoted to Admiral, given command of the First Contact Fleet. Earth was establishing humanity's role in the galaxy, not as conquerors, not as merchants, as protectors, as the ones who answered distress calls, as the guardians. The human ships prepared to leave, repairs completed, mission accomplished. Lina stood in the docking bay again, this time not in fear, in friendship. David found her there. "We will be back. The Admiral wants to establish regular patrols through this sector. Make sure the raiders know to stay away." "We would like that. Prina asks about you every day. She drew you a picture." David smiled, that genuine warmth that transformed his predator face into something kind. "Tell her I will come back. Tell her to keep drawing. Maybe she will be an artist someday." "Maybe, or maybe she will be like you, a protector." "The galaxy could use more protectors, human or otherwise." Henry approached with a data chip. "For you, medical files, treatment protocols for 17 species, things we learned here, share it with other stations, help others." Lina took the chip with all 4 hands, precious gift, knowledge freely given. "Thank you for everything. Thank you for trusting us, for seeing past the fear to who we really are." The humans boarded their ships, one by one, professional, efficient, each one stopping to say goodbye to station personnel they had worked beside. Friendships formed in crisis, bonds made in combat. The airlock sealed, the ships undocked, and Lina watched them go, 7 vessels heading back into the darkness of space, back to whatever came next. Back to answering the next distress call. Rina stood beside her. "They are gone." "No," Lina smiled. "They will be back. Humans do not abandon friends, and we are friends now." On Lina's tablet a new file appeared, sent from Nina. She opened it, a simple message. "The galaxy sent a signal. We answered. We will always answer. That is what Earth taught us. That is who we are. Stay safe, Doctor. We will see you again soon. Admiral Nina Cross, UNS Resolute." Lina looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, humanity was changing the galaxy, not through conquest or commerce, through protection, through choice, through the simple act of answering when someone called for help. Earth had sent its children into the galaxy, and those children carried with them everything their harsh world taught them: violence and compassion, strength and mercy, the ability to destroy and the wisdom to create. They were Deathworlders, they were guardians, they were human. And the galaxy would never be the same. Lina began writing, her observations, her experiences, her conclusions. The galaxy needed to understand, needed to see humans as she saw them now, not as monsters, not as saviors, as both, as complicated beings from a complicated world who chose to be better than their origins suggested. She titled the document simply, "Understanding Humanity, a Quellan Perspective." It would spread across every civilized world. It would start conversations, change minds, build bridges. Because that was what scientists did. They observed, they learned, they shared knowledge. And now Lina knew humans, really knew them, the good and the dangerous and everything between. She smiled as she wrote. Outside, the stars burned eternal, and somewhere among them, human ships moved through the darkness. Answering signals, protecting the helpless, being exactly what Earth made them. Guardians from a death world, warriors with gentle hands, the contradictions that would save the galaxy. Humanity had arrived, and everything had changed forever.